That
Unforced and
customer
forced
might
balking.
not be necessary location by his or her own intention, but on the grounds that the capacity of the system is already filled up, and there is no more provision for addition of an additional customer in that particular system. That person is having what we call forced backing. And this forced backing often occurs when we have a system that has what we call a finite queue length. Finite queue length in the sense that the system will say that the moment the number of the person in the system gets to this particular number, that system is no longer ready to admit another person or another customer in that system. So the person is meant to leave this system as long as that threshold of the queue length has been reached. That person is having what we call forced backing. Then we now talk about what we call the reneging. In the reneging, what actually happens is a customer arrives a system and joins a queue. But after being in a queue for some times, realizes that it is going to waste his time or her time to have a turn for a service and then decides to leave that particular system. The difference between the barking and the reneging is that in the barking, the customer did not join the queue at all before taking a decision to leave the system or before being forced out of the system, depending on if it is unforced barking or forced barking. But in the reneging, the customer did not join the system at all. The customer joined the system, but after joining the system, decide to leave on the grounds that it is going to waste his or her time. In the backing, customer does not join the system at the queue at all. But then in the reneging, this customer joins the queue. But while in the queue, takes that decision either to leave the queue because it is going to waste his or her time. That is the difference between the backing and then the reneging. Both of them involves leaving the system. But one is leaving the system after joining the queue, but the other one is leaving the system after he has joined the queue. In the reneging, you join the queue, and after being in the queue, you leave the system. But in the backing, you do not join the queue at all before you leave the system. Then we now talk about what the jockey. In the jockeying, as it concerns the queue in theory, a customer arrives the system. And then in that system, there are multiple queues.